Hey, what's up YouTube? It's Story of Sam and welcome back to a brand new NBA video today here on the channel. And I just created a 10 question quiz that all of you guys are going to be playing in today's video. I tried to make the questions difficult so they are fun, but not like way too hard that no one can ever get. Before we do get started, if you guys are brand new here, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below. We are on the road to 3,000 subscribers. And of course guys, make sure to drop a like on today's video. That would be great. Without further ado, let's get straight on into the quiz. So for question number 1, we have what NBA player scored the most points in a single game this year? A. Steph Curry, B. Bradley Beal, C. Jason Tatum, or D. Kevin Durant. Now I do recommend to pause this video when I do finish reading off the answer choices just because I'm not going to give you guys a ton of built-in time in the video to answer the question, so make sure to pause the video and think about your answer. And the correct answer was actually A. It is Steph Curry. Steph dropped 62 points in one game this year. That is the most in the entire NBA. He did that very early on in the season. I'm sure a lot of you guys remember that against the Portland Trail Blazers, and it really was a reminder that Steph Curry can put up these insane stat lines when he is the clear #1 option on the team. Moving on to question number 2, we have which NBA team had the worst record in the 2021 NBA season? Was it A, the Thunder, B, the Pistons, C, the Rockets, or D, the Timberwolves? Once again, I do recommend pausing the video if you need more time to think, but the correct answer is C. The Houston Rockets had the worst record in the NBA, and that was definitely shocking to me just because, again, they had James Harden to start the year, but going through the whole rebuilding phase, trading James Harden, getting Christian Wood, having John Wall being injured a large portion of the season, it was definitely a rebuilding season. They are definitely going down the tanking method. Moving on to the third question on the list, we have who averaged the most assists per game during the regular season? Was it A, James Harden, B, Russell Westbrook, C, LeBron James, or D, Trae Young? The correct answer is B. Russell Westbrook averaged the most assists. It was 11.7 assists per game. Just absolutely insane that he's been able to average a triple-double now for multiple seasons, becoming the triple-double king. That was just an insane accomplishment for Russell Westbrook, and Westbrook really did step up his game later on in the season. Moving on to question 4, we have who led the NBA in three-point percentage? Was it A, Joe Harris, B, Duncan Robinson, C, Buddy Hield, or D, Damian Lillard? The correct answer was A. Joe Harris led the NBA in three-point percentage for his second season. I'm pretty sure he shot like 47.5% from deep. Definitely some incredible efficiency from beyond the arc. He's always been one of the best shooters in the NBA. I think he's won a three-point contest if I'm not mistaken. And even though Joe Harris didn't perform that great in the NBA playoffs, not shooting this well at all, he still did lead the NBA in three-point percentage for the regular season. Moving on to the 5th question on the quiz, we have what team had the highest defensive rating during the regular season? Was it A, the New York Knicks, B, the Utah Jazz, C, the Miami Heat, or D, the LA Lakers? Now the correct answer was the Lakers. Now this was surprising to me just because they missed LeBron James and Anthony Davis for a large portion of this season, but definitely credit where credit is due. Frank Vogel, one of the best defensive coaches in the NBA, had the Lakers at the #1 defensive rating spot for pretty much the entire NBA season. Even when AD and LeBron were out, they were always one of the best defenses the entire year. The offense really held them back though, and that was why they lost in the first round to the Phoenix Suns. Moving on to question 6, we have who led the NBA in free throw percentage? Was it A, Jordan Clarkson, B, James Harden, C, Chris Paul, or D, Kyrie Irving? As always, pause the video if you wish, but the correct answer is C, Chris Paul. He led the NBA in free throw percentage at 93.4%. Earlier in the NBA season, Jordan Clarkson was actually leading. He was at like 97% or something crazy, but Chris Paul ended up leading the NBA in free throw percentage. 93%, definitely a crazy mark. He shot very well in the postseason once again from the free throw line. One of the best free throw shooters in the NBA, no surprise there. The next question on the quiz is question number 7, and that is who averaged the most blocks per game in the regular season? Was it A, Miles Turner, B, Rudy Gobert, C, Anthony Davis, or D, Clint Capella? Now the correct answer was actually A, Miles Turner. Even though he was injured for a large portion of the season, Miles Turner averaged 3.4 blocks a game, definitely one of the highest I've ever seen in recent years. He did not make an all-defensive team though, and he was actually mad at that. I'm pretty sure he talked about it on social media. He wanted to be on an all-defensive team. Unfortunately, that didn't happen. But again, 3.4 blocks a game is definitely a very high number. He's a great young player, one of the best rim protectors in the NBA. NBA, and I would not be shocked if Miles Turner is traded sooner rather than later. Coming up next is question number 8, and that is, how many teams were swept during the 2021 NBA playoffs? And just to clarify, this can be in any round. So if a team was swept in the conference finals, that still counts towards the total number of sweeps. And we have A, 0 sweeps, B, 1, C, 2, or D, 3 teams were swept. Again, you can pause the video, but the correct answer was C. 2 NBA teams were swept during this playoff run. It was the Denver Nuggets and the Miami Heat, of course, the Denver Nuggets being swept in round number 2 versus Phoenix Suns, and the Miami Heat were swept by the now NBA champion Milwaukee Bucks in the first round. I'm actually surprised that only 2 teams were swept. I would have thought there would be at least like 3 or 4 teams swept because of all the injuries, but again, only the Nuggets and Heat were swept. Obviously, if the Denver Nuggets had Jamal Murray, that series could have gone either way. In my opinion, the Nuggets could have won, but I think the Suns probably would have still got the W. But again, Jamal Murray would have changed everything, but it is what it is. The Nuggets and the Heat were swept. Moving on to question number 9, we have, how many 7-game series were there in the 2021 NBA playoffs? How many series actually went the distance? How many actually had a game 7 played? We have either A, 2, B, 3, C, 4, or D, 5, and the correct answer is B. 3 series went 7 games in these playoffs, and that was the Clippers versus the Mavericks in round 1, and the Clippers ended up winning that game 7. We had the Philadelphia 76ers versus the Atlanta Hawks. That was in the second round, and the Atlanta Hawks ended up winning that. And then we had the Milwaukee Bucks versus the Brooklyn Nets in the second round as well, and we all know the Milwaukee Bucks ended up winning that one in 7. We definitely had some great basketball during the 2021 NBA playoffs, and those game 7s were great. 3 game 7s, and honestly that number's a little bit high to me. I thought there was going to be like 1 or 2 game 7s, but 3 is a great number. The more game 7s the better, and there were 3 of them in the 2021 NBA playoffs: Sixers Hawks, Clippers Mavericks, and Bucks Nets. Moving on to the 10th and final question of this quiz. I definitely hope you guys have been keeping track of how many questions you've gotten right, but this final question is, who scored the most points total during the 2021 NBA playoffs? Was it A, Devin Booker, B, Chris Middleton, C, Paul George, or D, Giannis Antetokounmpo? And the correct answer is D. Giannis Antetokounmpo scored the most points in the 2021 playoffs. It was very close. Devin Booker scored a ton of points as well, and Chris Middleton was actually up there as well, but Giannis overall scored the most points during this playoff run. Makes sense. Milwaukee Bucks are NBA champions. Giannis is the finals MVP. The Bucks played a lot of games this postseason, and Giannis scored the most points out of anyone. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video on my NBA quiz for the 2021 NBA season, and it was a 10-question quiz. Definitely comment down below, what did you get on this quiz? How many correct answers did you get? Did you get 5 out of 10? Did you get 8 out of 10? Or did you go perfect and got a 10 out of 10 on this quiz? I really hope you guys did enjoy it. I tried to keep the questions relatively easy, but again, not way too hard to the point where it's not fun, because I feel like a lot of times these quizzes are either way too easy where you know every question and it's not fun, or they're just insanely hard and they're not fun. So I hope this was a decent middle ground for you guys. If you did enjoy today's video, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below. We are on the road to 3,000 subscribers. And of course, guys, make sure to drop a like on today's video. That would be great. And if you guys do want to watch more of my NBA videos, I'm going to leave an end screen right when this video finishes to 2 of my previous uploads that I think you guys would really enjoy. So have a great rest of your day, guys. It's been Story of Sam, and I'm out. Peace.